Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary people. How's everybody today? I am just as always regular. I'm all right. No updates, to be honest. I don't even know what I was doing since the cocktail in ESO stream. Today for my coffee, I'm going to be opening and drinking the coffee, the new coffee that my brother sent me. Excited about it. And yet at the same time I don't know how it's going to taste. Hope it's not going to be bad, because that would be pretty unfortunate. That's for sure. How do I open this thing? My water has boiled up today successfully. No troubles with... I'm going to use a knife. Not... Ooh. This needs a proper container, not this bag. I'll have to think of something. Some kind of jar. We'll just take a little bit of it. I don't make myself a very strong coffee. Pour it all in. Unfortunately, instructions are in Polish. So I can't really read them on my own, to be honest. I can probably use internet to say what this... To find out what this is supposed to mean. Intensity 3 out of 5. That's this thing I can clearly distinguish, understand. I don't know. So it has like a pictured instruction, right? Over here, but I'm not completely sure about the process here. I think it's like different ways of making it, not like the consequence of how you do it, right? I would say, but I know nothing. Okay. Now, today, as the title says, we will be continuing our work on classes abilities for my Toshers idea. I fleshed out some classes last time. Where is it? Toshers. Why does it take a look at this. Why does it all flashed with red? But whatever. So there is 9 classes so far. Let me just class 1 mapper, and then I just let me copy this part. And paste it here, except this part. Okay, looks good, I think. Typos all around. Okay, the coffee is gonna take a while to cool down to the proper temperature. So yeah, today's stream, I don't really feel like doing a long stream today. Maybe hour, 2, 3 hours top, I feel like. But in all honesty, we'll see how it goes. I would like to work a little longer on this idea, but I'm not sure how much my brain can freaking see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not sure how much brain capacity my brain possesses today. Not sure how long it can go brainstorming this stuff. Yeah. I'm not even sure what purpose streaming this serves. Maybe I could have just went online and played. Ow! Sorry. Burnt my finger. For some reason, the teaspoon is very hot. Hotter than it normally is, because normally I can handle it. Like, take it out. I'm gonna take it out right now. Put it away right here. Sorry, I didn't mean to scream like that. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm not even sure what purpose of streaming this, but it's one of my hobbies. I like thinking of new ideas. I just don't really know how to make it so that world building parts are engaging and structured, I guess. I just put down on the text everything that I have in mind about it, and yeah. Excuse me. And yeah, and that's how it goes. I feel like for this one, the abilities for the skill, fucks. I can't speak. Abilities for the classes are a logical next step. Even before moving onto the monsters and overall world lore. Also, I'm a little annoyed today. Morning did not start super well. I'm not really gonna get into why, but yeah, I'm a little unhappy with how life is today. So that's probably part of the reason why I don't feel much energy of going on for today's stream. Okay, so mapper. So I divided all the classes in different paragraphs, I guess, and I think I will be listing the abilities of them. Oh fuck! Listing their abilities like below, like this. I guess, like 1, 2, and so on. So for the mapper, obviously mapping. Allows for making a what's the word? Intricate? Exquisite? Let's just go with a very good map. Default mapping skill for them is 80. This is a COC system where you have a threshold of your skill and you roll, and you roll 2 d10s. One is for what it's called, tens, and another is for single digits. So you roll, you get 22, you get a very good map. It's a good success. I think there's some kind of threshold like below 10% or something. Like if I rolled 88 right now, I would have failed as a mapper. As a mapper. So that's by default. They are mapper. They need a mapping ability or skill to be high. There is an insect in my room. A fly, a large fly that flew in through the open window. Yesterday there was a wasp, which is not a rare guest in the warmer months when I keep my window open for longer. This stupid creature will be here a while. I believe they normally struggle with finding their way back through the window, because I don't open my window all the way. I just crack it open like this, like slightly. Okay, so mapping skill. And right now I just right now I thought that perhaps there should be skills and abilities unique for the class, because technically uh, technically anyone get can start learning mapping skill, right? They just cannot get as good as mapper, and that means or maybe not. Maybe I actually, well, I already have a piece of text here that says anyone else can do a map, which makes sense if I want there to be a map making mechanic, because when you venture into the sewers, you don't know the layout, so you make the map yourself. And as such, we need unique abilities for the classes that would make them stand out and take a sufficient advantage out of their primary skill, right? I also said it's going to be abilities, but I already listed a skill mapping as number one for mapper. Stupid. Let me think. So, what would make a mapper stand out if everyone else, like, what abilities? Passive, not necessarily passive. Uh, it already says here that. Oh, that their skill level allows them for the easier role to pinpoint their current location. Because even if you have a map, you can kind of be struggling with knowing where you are. Oh, exactly. And I'm not sure it's a good mechanic to have right now anymore, because in real life, well, I don't know. In real life, if you have a map and you know your starting point, you kinda can figure out easily enough where you are on the map, right? That's the freaking point of the map. But if you don't know your starting point, can you? You can buy some clues in a landscape, and if it was marked on the map, then it shouldn't be a problem for you as well. Hmm. I did hit a wall right now. Okay, for now I'm going to list a proper no, a main skill for each class. For broker, it's going to be negotiations. For bruiser, it's obviously brawl. For Deadeye, obviously arranged firearms shooting. For Rogue, I fear like it's going to be two. Stealth, their meta abilities, you know, and silent weapons. Monster expert. Obviously. What do I call it? Excuse me. Sneezing. As always. Mornings are still a little chilly. In here, and when I leave the window open for a bit in the morning, I get a little bit of a fresh air tickling my skin, and that makes me sneeze. Yeah. How do I call this ability for the monster expert? Not ability, even a skill. Monster expertise. Well, number 2 is clearly going to be potion making. But number 1, how do I call it exactly? What do I call it exactly? Sorry. Maybe I don't. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's just call it an expertise. Expertise. And then number 2, potion making. Let's keep it simple, right? For this, it's obviously going to be a demonology, one of them. For sigilist, which is a class that manipulates magic while not possessing it through signs, amulets, charms, and similar stuff. Let's call it patterns knowledge. And then artificer, tinkering, I guess. Tinkering sounds kind of silly. Mechanics. How's my coffee? Oh, it's good. I gotta text my brother and tell him that the coffee is amazing. And I gotta find a jar for it, so it doesn't stay in a ripped bag. Give me a moment. Ah, I love it. Sorry, my phone is being slow and annoying. And it's taking a while to load up things. Oh my. And you know how it strives to freaking load you Viber notifications even though you freaking read them on your tabletop on your desktop app. It's such an annoying thing, and because of that everything else is lagging, and it loads up unnecessary things that I did not ask for at all as well. Okay, go fucking away. Pisses me off. Okay, my good coffee. It tastes different from my regular one, but in a pleasant way. I can get used to it, as to any good thing. Yum. Love it. It distracted me though from thinking. Okay, let's say we need at least 3 abilities. Unique for each class, right? Broker needs 1 more skill. Not only its negotiations, it's they need to be able to correctly value the things, the loot they find, which I guess is expertise as well. Let's call it broker expertise. And for the monster expert, should we call them monstrologist? Monstrologist. And does, how do you say that? THUS. It is a monster expertise. This one leaves quite a bit of leftovers though, like on the bottom of your cup there's a layer of coffee. Whilst my regular one did not, but I don't have a problem with that. I just need to wash it. I would still wash my cup, but like with my regular coffee you just gulp everything to the end, but with this one you leave a little bit. Maybe you need to like simmer it for it to completely go away. Yeah. Nevertheless, an amazing coffee. All I need now is some sugar in my room, so I actually can make my coffee right in my room without having to venture outside for sugar. I'll look into that, perhaps. When I'm in a store next time. Need a gum though. I love coffee, but I don't like the aftertaste of coffee, so I always get a gum when I can after coffee. Damn, there is really something of a creative wall right now about this matter. Maybe if I struggle with some classes, I move onto easier ones, for which ideas pop up faster, like a bruiser. And I think I have an idea for an ability for them, which would be how do I say it though? How do I Okay, so basic skill is some kind of level. It determines like you can get a brawl skill as a non-bruiser, right? And let's say you have it at 40. You roll in a fight Get 43. How does it affect the outcome of the roll? Like, it's a combat roll. You are aiming to do damage, right? For 43, you obviously fail. Below that, you probably succeed and do some amount of damage, but how much? Okay, so bruisers get there is a wasp. Welcome back, mate. I have no idea if it's the same as the one that was here yesterday, but no, it's probably not. It's more stupid. That one was exploring the room. This one starts trying to fly through glass right away. Never mind. It will find its way out. The large fly actually did. Even though I did not expect it to. Okay. So you do some amount of damage, which I guess can be determined by COC rulebook, right? Let me check. I have it somewhere, I think. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, I have Alien RPG, Call of Cthulhu. There we are. Equipment. Combat. Close combat, fighting maneuvers. How does damage work? Okay, so knives do have damage stats, right? But what about bare hand? Weapon damage? Other forms of damage? Wrong thing. Unarmed attacks. 1d3 plus damage bonus. Okay. Okay. So it's 1d3. 1d3, I don't have a d3. Shit. Wait, serious? Serious? Fuck. Okay, let's just roll a d6, where 1, 2 will be 1, 3, 4 will be 2, and 5, 6 will be 3. Wait. $45. We are talking about bruisers, bruiser right now. So, how much default brawling, like empty-handed fight skill, should a bruiser have by default? $65. And as such, okay, so if a regular person damage with bare hands is 1d3, right? Then what? Then bruisers should have it higher by default. And I think I'm gonna make it so that they have like different what it's called, moves in fighting, like grapple and slam and shit like that, so that they can increase their damage. But damn, regular people can learn that too, right? Okay, we can make it so that regular people that are leveling up brawling skill can learn those moves too. But bruiser, by nature, by their experience in the past, assuming they got to be a bruiser because they had some kind of background related to fighting, to bare hand fighting, they have a permanent unavailable for others bonus to the damage. How about that? I feel like that is quite fair. By the way, I want to see what a D3 looks like. A D3 dice. No, not the freaking. Shit. Apparently it looks like this. Or like this. But how do you know which one, which side? Oh, I see. But hey, it's, wait, I'm confused. Like, look at this black one. It's one on one side, and I and I guess we are seeing 3 because it's turned our way, but on top of it, top side of it says 1 anyway. Okay. Any other kinds? You get 6 side dice, but numbered 1 to 3 only. You get this type. This one looks cool, to be honest. With pips. But it says 5 and more. Funny little thing. To be honest, I imagined D3 to be just like a triangle, and that's and that's basically it. Like you roll it and it drops on one of the sides, and I guess the front and backs, what is this, the front and back sides just pointed, so you can't land, the dice can't land on them. Okay, so here brawl skill is 65 by default. Then there will be moves like grab and slam. You grab a person, maybe like this, and you like bam them on the ground. Sorry, and it should deal more damage than D3. How much? D4, D6. I feel like D6 is fair, and it's going to be D6 for a regular person with brawling skill that have learned grab and slam. D6 plus 3, 2. D6 plus 3 for a bruiser, sorry. So say the bruiser does this move, and it's 5 plus 3 is 8 damage. And then what about double fist? When they just hit you with both hands. It's d4 for regular person. Damage. And once again, and okay, so if it's d4 for a regular person, where's my d4? 2. I'm thinking either 2d4s for a bruiser or 2d6 for a bruiser. Let's figure it out. 2d4. 3 or 2d6. Come out. 9. Is 2d6 too much? 12 damage at once. d6 and d4. That way it's only 10 at once. I feel like this is an interesting and quirky solution. d6 plus d4 for a bruiser. Okay. And then I want there to be a full body slam when they just charge and hit you with the whole weight of their body. d8 for a regular person. It's d12. Where's my d8? Where's my d8? There it is. Two. Well, d8 grants a large maximum roll, right? But average is like 4 or 5. But then you can get a low one as well. Damn, I don't know. No, d8 for a regular person does, well, I don't know. In my mind, a full body slam can't really go wrong, right? In any case, slamming uh, a large amount of weight into someone will do damage, significant damage, one way or another. So we need to eliminate low rolls, in my opinion. So what do we do? Make it 3d4. It still can result in just in a mere 3 damage. 6, 8. And for the bruiser, damage has to be even higher. Wait. Coming back to double fist, d4 for a regular person, d6 plus d4 for a bruiser. Isn't it too much of a difference? Ah, it's fine. But with the full body slam. Okay, I think 3d4. Wait, wasn't it supposed to be 2d4 damage? I feel like it was. Gonna sneeze. Excuse me. No, it went away. Damn it. It's gonna come back soon, I feel like. And then full body slam. What if 3d4 for a regular person? And for a bruiser, it must be somehow even larger than that. 3d6. That's a lot. That's fucking a lot. Is it? It's 13. 13 damage. You know, what comes out seems to be seems to be calling for a tanky monsters or enemies, right? Which means melee weapons and like other kinds of weapons should be even deadlier than this, because already 3d4 is kind of a lot of damage. If we are aiming for lengthy fights, though. So I'm thinking if 3d6 for a bruiser makes sense at all. Two d6 and d4. It's barely any mitigation of potentially too large damage for... You know what, I think it is fine, and if needed it can be later tinkered with. Balance out and stuff. 3d6 for a bruiser. Do we need anything with a grapple, like just holding person? So, okay, anybody can hold a person, provided they made a good roll at strength. Is it? Nope. So I assume in CFC it's pure, if there is such a thing at all, it's a pure strength roll, right? And if so, if we want a bruiser to have some advantage at grappling, we need to make them stronger, either by granting them by default higher strength, but then I don't really want players to be forced to play like necessarily big strong wide dudes, right? I want a player to be able to make any kind of person and make them a bruiser. So this shouldn't really be about your physical strength or your constitution. I don't know. It shouldn't be about your strength, your size, your mass. It should be about skill. So while grapple would be determined, success of the grapple would be determined by physical strength for a regular person. For a bruiser, it should be something else. They should get some kind of bonus to it. Like it's still a strength roll, I would assume. But how is it different? Oh, do you hear my stool knocking on the floor? Because my floor is not even. Yes, you do. Damn. Just make it an automatic success for the bruiser. I'm gonna Google grapple mechanics in COC. I don't seem to be finding them in a rulebook placed by the word grapple. Give me a moment. Combat maneuver that acts as oh, it's brawl, not brawl. Sorry. No, it's an opposed brawl roll, so this skill maneuvers. It's somewhere over here. Maneuvers, fighting maneuvers. Disarm, knock an opponent to the floor, seize and hold an opponent. Uh-huh. So, in theory, just an automatic success. Well, it does feel unfair a little bit, doesn't it? No, it's not gonna be an automatic success for the brawler, but what else can it be? Let's consult a rule book. Citizen hold an opponent, whereupon the opponent must apply one penalty die to their actions until they can break free with an opposed strength roll. And what if I just make it so that the bruiser knows how to hold the person so well, like how to lock their own arms and hands, how to wrap themselves around an enemy in a way that perhaps requires 2 strength rolls to break free. How does that sound? 2 opposed strength rolls to win, to break free. I kinda like it. But the regular person cannot do that at all. I like this. I need to remind myself also how skills and attributes are assigned. How do you determine how much strength do you have and so on? Okay, wait. But how do opposed strength rolls work? Let's say they have all different strength, but they both roll success. It's just a lower number that wins. Level of success. Less than a half, yeah. Okay, makes sense. I forgot about that moment. If it's below half, it's a hard success. And then I believe there is an extreme success too, like below 1/4 of the level of skill. I believe that's a thing as well. But I like this ability for a bruiser. Maybe default brawl skill should be upped for them, but that's a concern for later. I'm getting kind of lightheaded. I don't know what's going on with me, to be honest. I still can go, but I don't know. Something about my head doesn't feel right today, but it's fine. Okay, I don't really have nothing for a mapper yet. Broker, I don't know. Deadeye Rogue, sorry. Firearms. Skill. So technically in this era, which is intended to be what? Which is intended to be Victorian era. We had pistols, revolvers, shotguns and rifles, right? That's of the weapons you could bring with yourself. And Deadeye abilities are already kind of like outlined by the name of the class, right? They are able to hit targets very well from range, from a large range. How do firearms work? You may shoot a firearm on your turn in the DX. Readied. Well, I don't know. It says here about a point blank range, but if you are using a rifle, do you have a point blank advantage? I don't know. Like, if it's a handgun and your enemy is really close to you, you don't really need to aim. But if it's a rifle, like if you have a handgun, right? But if it's a rifle, you kind of like, it can be too long for such an action. I don't know. Okay, we'll leave it be for now, the point blank advantage thing. Okay, it says here the Deadeye can is there anything like cold shots in this system? Should I make it so that if a Deadeye aims carefully and shoots their weapon within appropriate distance, it's a one shot? Against regular size enemies, meaning like human sized humanoids, not too large of like animals. Like I would say you probably can't one shot a bear with a handgun. but you can with a rifle. How do I differentiate that though? And you get those like large caliber revolvers, right? That can technically, maybe, one shot a large animal with a good aim. Let me Google it a little bit again. Okay, I think we can make it work, but it requires specifying the caliber of the weapon. Like, if you get a regular 9mm, you can make a perfectly aimed shot into a large animal's skull, but it won't be a kill. So for the specific purposes, there has to be reasonable, how to say that, reasonable specifics, basically, reasonable details, like large caliber revolvers, close distance. Okay, I am doing this. Deadeye. Can one shot a target except very large enemies if taking aim and within appropriate distances and calibers. Wait. For a rifle. Caliber of the weapon should be taken into consideration. Can't one shot a bear with a 9mm? Now, how does the taking aim mechanic work? So you aim, you do still need to make a roll and succeed on it. I say they get 80 by default in firearms skill. For some reason it seems reasonable for me. They do succeed in their roll. But how does the aim work? There should be advantages, mechanic, and like something specific about it, some specific action, and penalty. There should be a drawback. And I guess sniping cannot be performed with shotguns, right? I would say they cannot. Like it disperses the projectiles, it covers the area. Or it creates a significant force to like throw the body quite a bit off if it's close range. But it cannot be used as precision weapon. Like you cannot be 100 meters away and expect to get a dead eye with a shotgun. Get a dead eye, bull eye. Can it be just like a cold shot D&D system, you just say I'm trying to get, but there is like higher difficulty if you do a cold shot. And should I make it so that for a successful aim shot, like sniping shot, you need to roll like 1/2? Given they can one shot if they succeed, I feel like it's fair. But makes it not so not so ultimate, you know? And I'm not sure if it's a good thing. I kind of wanted to feel like an oath for Deadeye, but if it's such a not drawback, like if there is still a requirement to succeed, like let's say they have 80. Let's make a couple percentile roll so to see how often they would potentially roll below 40. 43. Twice in a row, by the way. I rolled before and it was 43 as well. 30. 14. 69. So it's 2 out of 4. 63. 96. 95. These last two ones are not even a success. 70. 67. No. 78. So if I'm not wrong, I've got 2 out of 10 rolls that were below 40. Not too deadly for the Deadeye. What if for aim shots, for sniping, we increase temporarily the skill to 100? So they need to roll below 50. But with the current statistics, it's still it would still be 2 out of 10 rolls. No, that's probably not gonna work. Like you hit a target, nevertheless, and do damage, but you do not one shot. You only one shot 2 targets out of 10. Hmm. giving you do damage anyway is not makes it not so bad. But overall makes this ability a little too mitigated in my opinion. I think I would like it deadlier. Maybe this thing having to needing to have a hard success and temporarily increasing a roll to increasing a skill for to 100 is for regular people, but then we need to make a Deadeye to stand out somehow. Hmm. And how can I make it stand out? I got no ideas. But I don't feel like I should abandon this ability midway. I feel like I need to see it through till it's workable, usable, and till I'm satisfied with it. Hmm. I have a surprise for Monday though. It's as always a cooking stream, but I'm going to be well. There will be a little bit of cooking, but there will be some fooling around with food, and it's going to be I'm going to be doing a silly thing. Not gonna tell you what, but I'll tell you the egg will be involved. Anyway, back to the problem on hand. I can't say I'm managing to come up with something right now, to be honest. You know, kind of think of it, I feel like this idea about Toshers and Victorian era London sewers is very suitable for a Call of Cthulhu setting, even if we don't specifically go for Cthulhu, because I feel like he is overrated. You can hate me if you want to, but there are much cooler Lovecraftian gods. And so making this all about some kind of um, eldritch horror is actually very fitting in my opinion, and I'm surprised I didn't see it this way when I actually came up with the idea first. But I feel like I'm truly stuck with this right now. So hard success for regular players with and just a success for a Deadeye. But once again, this makes them stand out not enough, in my opinion. Not enough stand out, you get me. With this skill. Like, they are just a little bit better than an average person that takes an aim. So maybe for a regular person, we do not increase. Yeah. Deadeye gets firearms skill 80 by default, right? And a regular person doesn't. So if we either do increase or do not increase, but not to 100. If we increase it at all, it's just by 20. And like, say if you have a skill of 40, like firearms skill obviously, it gets increased by 20 to 60, and you need a hard success. You still need to hit 30 with your roll, like below 30, to freaking snipe that thing. But for a Deadeye, it increases to 100. It's still a large amount to hit under 50. Like, it still holds the roll of holds the success rate of 2 to 8 out of 10 rolls. Let me check something out. What the fuck? Okay, never mind. All right. So where am I at? Hard success for. Sorry, I'm gonna tinker with this. No, I want. So hard success for regular players like Not Deadeye, and maybe an increase to 100 and of the skill to 100 and but wait, that makes it that eliminates a need for a roll completely. Maybe then there is no increase in skill at all. But there is a well, fuck it. This one-shot ability is not for the regular people, only a Deadeye. No increase, and upon a success of the roll, they do one shot if the requirements are met, like within range and with an appropriate caliber. I think this is a better version of it. But then maybe there needs to be a mechanic for a for the aim. Oh, then we need a mechanic for the aim. And what could it be? I'm gonna Google if there is a mechanic. The shot is taken on your next turn. That's would this work for a Deadeye and sniping? Declaring the aim action of on your turn and actually firing on your next turn. Is this any good? That it is a little bit of a drawback, but I'm not sure if I am satisfied with this kind of drawback. Like, well, yeah, there is also a possibility. No. Well, yeah, if the aiming person gets attacked, they can't focus on aiming, right? I think it works fine. And a regular person can aim too. But they cannot one shot. And a Deadeye can. I think it works fine. Okay, we'll leave it them be for a moment. Maybe there will be some other ideas for a Deadeye. Rogue, stealthy, highly skilled in small melee weapons and stealth weapons. And stealth applies. What did I say? What was I trying to say here? Stealth appliances, maybe? I have no idea, to be honest. And default stats stealth 80 small. Okay, everything else is okay. Stealth skill is 80 by default for the rogue, but not small melee and silent weapons. because when you are in stealth, its skill, their skill, small melee and and silent weapons is either increased by to 80 or to 100 if it's already 80 or above. That implies they do not get a default number for their respective skills in melee and weapons. And silent weapons. Okay, silent weapons obviously melee, right? Obviously melee. Obviously firearms with a silencer. But throwable weapons like throwing knives, crossbow, and so on, are they considered firearms by this system? Let me take a look at it. Weapon damage. What do we have? Small knife, machete, small club, baseball bat, handgun, shotgun, rifle. There should be more. I'm gonna Google it. Don't see anything like that in the rulebook. Wait. So, skills, first of all. I can't find a list of skills. Skill list in Call of Cthulhu. Skill list. There's a lot. Well, not that many, actually. Accounting, animal handling, anthropology, where do you put an emphasis on this? Anthropology, I think. Price, archaeology, art and craft, artillery, charm, climb. Throw. Okay, there's a throw skill which is good for throwables, but what about crossbow and blowpipes weapons? I'm gonna Google. Do crossbow and blowpipes fall under firearms skill? In Call of Cthulhu system. Okay, yes, they do. Blowpipes considered missile weapons. Handled under the throw skill, okay. Okay. Okay, so silent weapons are either throw or firearms, which is good. Good to know. Is there a stealth skill? Yes, there is. And now what? So they get specialization in like those blowpipes, throwable weapons, silented firearms like crossbows, and obviously firearms with the silencers. Obviously, regular knives to stab enemies with. But I'm thinking of larger melee weapons like clubs and sabers. Are they stealth enough? On one hand, they kinda are. On the other, the size of them kinda makes it a little inconvenient to sneak up onto people with. Maybe not. And obviously, if the person is in stealth, but does not use a silenced firearm, they do not get the increase. Maybe they do not actually need an increase, because increase to 100 makes does eliminate a need for a roll at all. But then how do they benefit from their exceptional skill? One shot upon a successful roll? Let's make it so that it's not 100, but increases or increased by 5 points if it's already 80 or above. Like, you can still reach 100, which eliminates a need for a roll, right? But it does not eliminate a need for a roll until your regular skill is at least 95, like base skill. I guess I should take away the small from here. It's gotta be all kinds of melee weapons. If you're in stealth, you can use them silently against enemies. Do we grant them one shot? Yes, we do. Because what's the point of sneaking up onto an enemy and stabbing them silently with with your knife if you don't kill them? That just makes them like it eliminates the benefit of stealth, because that enemy will alarm everyone else that they were just attacked. So we do grant them grant the rogue the ability to one shot enemies. Can one shot enemies if they successfully used stealth. How does this work? Okay. And combat roll against one. So stealth is 80 by default. Let me make some test rolls. 83. Okay, we need a success. 50. And you are with a knife sneaking up on them. With 50 they don't see you. And then with a knife, your melee combat skills are 80 already. Let's say increased from 57. You get 15. And you one-shot an enemy. Do we make a requirement for a hard success? I don't feel like it would be fair, but maybe it would. Maybe it would not make this guy an OP. Against. Do I need to tinker more with it? Because what I'm thinking, Deadeye and Rogue are already very powerful classes with very powerful abilities. And so you say you have like one Deadeye and one Rogue in your team, right? And you kind of just you can kind of just like eliminate the whole enemy squad with these two. Like skills are already high, providing there is a very little chance, like 1 in a 5 chance for a failure. Isn't that too much? Well, the Deadeye has a drawback. They need to see. I guess Rogue needs to see as well, but they operate at normally closer ranges. Closer range. And so they can apply other kinds of senses to their attacks, like hearing and maybe special sense, like you know when you can like you're not touching anyone, but in a dark room you are feeling that someone is standing nearby you without even making any noise. You just somehow, and not even people, you can sort of, well, most likely in a familiar room, right? You can sort of sense a furniture around where the furniture is, where is the wall, and so on. And smell probably too. Thinking of it, let's say a rogue has a rifle, a long range rifle with a silencer. It's technically a stealth weapon. And so with that weapon, they can act just as a Deadeye. Maybe they cannot reach such ranges as a Deadeye can. Maybe a 1,000 meters is too much though with the rifle. I'm not sure in that era there were rifles that could shoot that far. I'm gonna Google that. Okay, there were such weapons. Okay, there were such rifles. This is good to know, so this stays. Okay, so Deadeye doesn't need a silencer to make a one shot in a distance, but cannot use cannot do that in close combats. Rogue can do that in close combats, one shot people, but they do need a silencer because they take advantage of stealth heavily, not the distance and precision. Um, these two kind of overlap right now. Let's say a Deadeye has a silencer on their long range rifle. And make a shot and kill an enemy. And silencer applies some kind of bonus against being spotted, because without silencer you can kind of hear, especially in the sewers environment, which would be the prevalent environment for the game. You can like there's possibly just so many directions a bullet could come from, right? Let's say you are standing on a crossroad in the sewers between three tunnels, and only one has a straight line of vision, like say 600 meters long, and you hear a shot, and your teammate drops dead to the ground, right? You probably can figure out that shot came out from that direction, but uh like if it's without silencer. But with silencer, you can potentially be confused whether it was a long range weapon or short range weapon, and enemy is approaching from that shorter tunnel or that shorter tunnel. So that's an advantage. And then you make a roll. Is there anything like a spot hidden skill? Yes, there is. Let's say an enemy makes a roll. Let's say they have 65. Let's kill. It's 76. We need a success. Not really. How much of a bonus the silencer applies for stealth, or how much penalty it gives to the enemy that tries to spot you. Should it scale with distance? Scale up or down? Scale up. Obviously. The farther you are, the more difficult it is to hear a shot. What was my thought of it scaling down, though? There was some argument in my head for that. I'll replace this with Natural World as main skill. And then switching over to the Rogue. So Rogue with a rifle and silencer acts exactly as a Deadeye. Do these need to be two different classes? Maybe Rogue is a little bit more limited with range, like they they lack skill of reaching up to 1,000 meters. Maybe these two need to be merged, because why would you choose to be a more narrow and specific Deadeye if you can do the same shit with Rogue and more? So there, maybe I just eliminate Rogue's ability to be a long range. Yeah, I think that's a solution. Or stealth weapons, except long range rifles. And again, except long range rifles. Or maybe I just say they are a close range combatant. At close distances. Let's say up to 50 meters. And Deadeye doesn't have to do a stealth roll. Okay, I feel like right now it's fairly well balanced. These two. Is 50 meters too big? Should I make it even shorter? Is 50 meters considered short range combat? Okay. Okay, this is close combat, true. And other classes can benefit from stealth and their skill. Their combat skills, but they cannot one shot. They can do more damage, but cannot one shot. So far, so good, I believe. Excuse me. Okay, what next? Do we go back to Mapper and Broker, or taking a look at the Monstrologist? Okay, so they know about monsters, strong sides and vulnerabilities. Which parts of the monster are useful, meaning for crafting, or valuable, meaning for sale? And why would you sell parts of the monsters? As trophies, I guess. But there should be a reason. There should be a reason within, like, okay, most often people would buy animal parts for some kind of crafting or processing, cooking, like that, like stuff like that, right? I would assume the same goes for monsters, if they were real. And if it's already crafting, and you are a monstrologist and you make potions like healing and I don't know, night vision, I don't know, maybe poisons, something like that. Why do you sell? I guess um, I don't know. I wanted to say there is a ritualistic purpose, but that once again applies. Magic is available for people, and I would like to avoid that. Unless it's purely like summoning rituals to like consult with demons and stuff and ask for aid. There can be carving. You can sell hides for like making, I don't know, clothes, armor, furniture, anything. Some monsters can uh, contain within them some sort of version of pearls and gems, right, to be extracted and used in jewelry. For the freaky rich people, I could work with that. Okay, that works. Uh, you keep parts that you can use. And you sell the parts that you don't need but still are valuable for some other kind of crafter. I feel like this works. And by a standard, they get a natural world skill 80 by default. I feel like this is fair again. And then what? Potion making. Is there anything like this in an official skill list? Science? Maybe Rogue needs sleight of hand as well. By default at high level. Medicine. Locksmith, listen, library use. First aid, maybe? Do you hear that stupid rooster outside my window? Yeah, you can hear it. I'm gonna close the window because it pisses me off. Not sure if it's gonna help much, but at least it will potentially make it quieter. Okay. Monstrologist gets a natural world of 80 by default, and another skill advised for them is, I guess, anthropology, because what if the creatures they meet are ancient, not well, calling it regular monster is kind of odd, but I would assume that would be common monsters that everyone knows about, or at least portion of people knows about. There is literature about it and so on. And there are ancient fucking monsters. An anthropologist would know about them, potentially. Like some of them, they could remember things um, in the history books about them and so on, descriptions and such. I feel like it works, but I don't really want to make it what's the word, mandatory for a class to have this skill. Like, it's advised, but yeah, we will not make it mandatory. We already are making mandatory several skills for several classes. and then potion making. Would we call it alchemy or rather medicine? Art and craft, maybe? First aid is not really suitable. You don't necessarily make potions on the spot for that. Medicine. I don't know. Right. Occult, pilot, science. Astronomy, biology, botany, chemistry, cryptography, engineering, forensics, geology, mathematics, meteorology, pharmacy. Okay, this works. Potion making, we replacing it with pharmacy. And make it high as well, right? I would say. $80, I would assume. Now, since the mapper is able to use their skill to make higher quality maps, wait, actually, mapping is not a very common skill, is it? Like, how many people would take a mapper? a mapping skill. I guess since I want to make it a mechanic for like not knowing the layout and mapping out your progress, that would make sense for at least one of them, whether they take a mapper class or not, to take on a mapping skill. But that brings us back to the mapper class and what kind of ability they should have that would make them able to make higher quality maps comparing to other people. Like, we already determined that they can pinpoint their location easier. I'll need to think harder on this. Because I keep thinking it's not that difficult of a thing to figure out where you are on the map. Let me check something. There should be something about unskilled roles, and I don't remember the exact rules. Base skill percentages listed on the character sheet. Ah, I got it. 5 or 1. Like, if you don't have a skill in accounting, it's 5. And how hard would you say a mapping skill would be for someone who does not have a mapping skill? Like, is it 1 or 5? Okay, I'm thinking too much about mapper right now. I don't know. And not enough about monstrologist, though maybe I should be thinking about mapper more, since they are not really done. Would they have a spot hidden at high? So they so they are able to map out some secrets they notice. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'm hesitating with it because it once again means I'm giving the class a mandatory skill. Okay, how would this work? So let's imagine a group of 3 people without a mapper, but with a map. Okay, maybe mapper doesn't really, well, I don't know. But with the map, enter the dungeon, right? Let's say they have all different mapping skills. Obviously, probably the person with highest mapping skill handles the map. What if not? It doesn't really matter right now. Um, like I feel the mapping skill is of 80 is not enough of an advantage for a deliberate class over a regular person. Like, yeah, your role is easier on figuring out your location. There should be something about map and layout that would give would make a mapper class make sense, not just my whim, not just because I want there to be a mysterious unknown layout that you have to map out. Okay, I'm getting tired. I'm starting to get. I'm getting something of a slight headache, to be honest, and I don't really know why, but it's getting harder to think. The head gets heavy. So I think I will. Excuse me. Save this. Did I save it? No, I think I did. For later, think of it next time maybe. But for now, I will be going offline. Thank you anybody who watched. Bye.